briefing and trading with Ange every day from 2 to 4 p.m.
Bring it back to the basics. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to do a quick sound check to make sure everything is up and running. All the platforms are up. We'll see here in just a moment. Looks like everything is loading up. I see Twitch is up. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Look at all of you pouring in. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Do we have sounds, guys, on the socials? Can everybody hear me? What about on YouTube, just to double check?
Yes, I can hear you on YouTube.
Awesome. Great. Can everybody be here, everyone else too, like from the Zoom? Somebody want to talk from the Zoom besides me? All right. Well, we're going to go with it, guys. Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to American Dream Trading's Futures Trading this afternoon. It is Halloween, so happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So today we're going to do some training, and then we're going to do some trading, and we're going to just kind of go with it. So please, for all of you out there on the social media land, all around, anything you'd like us to take a look at, any questions you may have. This is also for training purposes. So if you've got questions, please ask them. Same with all of our Zoom or premium members over here on Zoom. Also, welcome to all of you. We just had a 2-hour training covering the L2 and how it works with the futures. And we did some training alongside that, and then some paper trading to go along with it to show how mechanically you can get in and out by waiting for support and resistance, and then creating those channels. So we covered that this morning. So again, welcome everybody. We're here at American Dream Trading. We have some sales going on. So the current deal we have out there right now is $1,000 off VIP or VIP Gold Lifetime memberships. So go over to americandreamtrading.com to get your membership. Over there will also be listed other memberships that we have that you can go and take a look at. And we also have a Discord where you can start out with the free side of Discord to get yourself started. We've got something for everybody. So come on over. It's a great community. It's a pretty tight family, in my opinion. And I've been a part of it for almost a year now. And it's been a great community to be a part of. That being said, too, just a couple of things. I also would like to thank all the moderators that pop in here and help out every day. It takes a lot of work to get this show off and running every day and to fill the time and answer all the questions. So I appreciate all of you. I also would like to do a quick shout out to my parents who watch this every single day. I think you guys are crazy. I don't think I'm that entertaining, but I'm glad everybody else does. But I appreciate the support from my parents listening in. And then a few of my friends that also are showing me some great support as well. I appreciate all of you. Legal notice from American Dream Trading. American Dream Trading and anyone associated with us is not a financial, tax, or investment advisor. Everything we discuss is for training and education purposes only, and you should not use real money while trading. So please, for the love of God, use your stops and start with simulation trading or paper trading before you ever jump in here. None of us would like to see anybody blow up their accounts if you come in here and follow the instructions. So again, thank you to all of you. right out the gate, I'm just going over here looking at some of the socials. I've got TikTok and YouTube. So we've got those covered with questions. And then I'm also paying attention to Zoom. For the group in the Zoom today, raise your hand if you would. I have that pulled up to watch for as well. And we'll get your questions answered as we go along too. So again, welcome everybody. No, I am not Chad or Coach. I am very much aware of that. He is entrusted in me to come in here and help train the futures and train all of you and answer your questions and go through the charts together. So thank you, Coach, for doing that. It is it's a true honor to be able to work alongside you and do this every single day, Monday through Friday, obviously between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's get started. Do we have any questions out there already? Anybody? Thank you. That's really nice of all of you to say that. I appreciate all of you for sure. Yes, IWM has futures. Vinny, great question. So you have two to choose from. You've got the RTY main, and you have the M2K. Okay. The RTY is going to be the more expensive of the two. So you come in here, and if you can see my screen, I am showing my paper trading screen. The RTY is going to be the main as the E-mini for Russells. These do work alongside with the IWM. So I think it was yesterday. My days had run together yesterday. The Russells had a pretty good run. You could have been on the future side, and you could have definitely had great profits. Whether you rode it to the upside or down, whichever it was, the weeks and the days run together. So RTY main and the M2K main are going to be the two for the futures mini. So we can look at it and see what it looks like right now while we're at it. Yeah, Swaggy Germ Boy. You can actually rewatch yesterday's over on YouTube if you choose to. We had some great training yesterday. So all of the lives are recorded over on YouTube. You can go into the live section of the American Dream Trading YouTube page, and you can click on yesterday's stock and future education training, and that would have been for 10:30, and you could go back and review it if you choose. All right. So today, I like to start with a theme going into each day as we keep progressing. So we covered the L2 this morning and how to utilize this for day to day if you want to get in here. And if you are one who uses the L2 to trade. So I will break that down a little bit here. Let me check one of my screens. It looks funny. Let's see if we can fix it. One moment. Paper trading screen looks different. Okay. And how to use the L2 to trade. So if you don't have the L2 or the order book, you can go in your widgets and add. First of all, you can add it. So under all widgets, this is the paper trading side, but it's basically the same on the other end of it. Order book under quotes, add your order book. If you have to have the order book or the L2 to have real data or real-time data. So you'll have two options. You can either pick option one, which is $11.99, which is the L2 that looks like this. One moment. It'll give you one line. This one is $11.99, or you can have the option to have the L2 or the order book that has 10 lines. I choose to have the L2 that has the 10 lines because I use the L2 when I trade sometimes. So I choose to pay for the one that's more expensive, which is like $39 or $39.99. And so I'll use this, like I said, to trade. You have to have one or the other for real-time data, so you can decide which one's going to benefit you the most. And for the sake of training today, I do, in fact, use the L2 that has the 10 lines. So how do I use the L2 to trade? Well, I can go in here and I can, at this point, because I've used it for so long, I can go into like the NQ, the ES, or any of these major ones. The L2 moves really fast. So for the sake of training, I'll drop this down to crude oil. It slows down a little bit more, but with a good trained eye, you can use the L2 to scalp, say, the NQs, for example. If you're looking for an even more of a slowdown with the L2, look at crude oil at night. Now, I just have these based off of my own watch list. I don't need to have any more on my watch list. I'm typically looking at around 5 different ones, different futures throughout the day and evening. I'm not looking at any others. There are hundreds out there, so this is just a list that I've compiled for myself, and then I've shared within the group, our premium members, just to give them a basis to start at. So to cover L2 today, we'll look at crude oil. So we'll look at either the MCL or the CL. It doesn't matter which one you choose. The CL is going to be the more expensive of the two. So I'm going to drop this down as if we were working with someone who has a really, really small account. And when I say really, really small account, I mean someone who has an account with, we'll say, between $600 and $1,000. So we're going to look at MCL. So what I'm looking for when I am using the L2 is I am looking for good entry and exit points. So I use this in conjunction with the chart that I have already gone and I've already thrown some lines on for support and resistance and some critical levels that fall in between. So I'm using this information. So we've already put in some of these lines already, and I've added a couple extra ones because we were trading it, where we were training on this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple more on here just to kind of update it a little bit, since it's probably been 45 minutes since this was really looked at. So let's throw a couple more lines on here just to kind of give us a basis of where we're going to be at. I'm going to throw a line at the top of this wick, these wicks here at 69.37, and I'm going to call this resistance, because I'm going to blow this up a little bit more, and I'm going to prepare it to see if there's a good opportunity to do some scalping. Again, I'm on the paper trading side. This is for education purposes only, guys, so please be aware. So I've put in some lines. Obviously, I've got a line just above VWAP. Earlier today was respecting VWAP pretty well, and we're clearly moving up. It's moving up here pretty nicely, even though we've got a little bit of a trend coming down here. If you want to break it down off of this 69.24, and throw a line here as well. I'm going to throw a line there because I want to really break this down into what I would consider a good channel, so that I can show you some good entry points and exit points using the L2. Are we experiencing any lag? Just double checking. I'm not hearing or seeing anything weird. Okay, just look that way. All right. All right, so I'm going to look over here at the L2. So remember, on the future side, if you're new and you haven't maybe come in here and done any paper trading or simulated trading, I'm looking for a good entry point, and I'm going to look at coming in at support. So I'm looking at getting in at support and getting out at resistance. So I'm going to look to see if, one, I want to see how close my lines are. I'm going to take a look. The 6924. All right. So I'm going to come over here to the L2. So what I'm looking for on the L2 is I'm looking for somewhere to sit on support on the L2 side, on the bid side. So I'm gonna just watch this for a second. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna make sure my stop loss is checked. And I'm gonna go over here to limit, because if I decide to sit at support, I want to be able to put it in manually. I'm gonna make sure that I have my ticks set up for my stop loss, which I typically like to do between 15 and 25. Make sure my trading widget is in good working order before I ever get in over here. I'm going to blow out my chart a little bit, kind of see the direction it's going here. It looks like it's going to continue to go to the upside. So looking over at the L2, it looks like there's support here at 69.27. It's pretty heavy here. $69.27. It's popping up here to the 69 or 69.29. We have a critical level here. $69.31. Looking over at the ask side of where there's potential pop could happen. It's really, right at the moment, it's really pretty even across the board. So a lot of times I'll sit and watch this. So if you're ever in the pre-market with the rest of us in the early morning hours, we utilize the L2 significantly to decide our entry and exit points. And I love that I'm able to bring this over to me doing futures and utilizing the same skill to get in and out. So it takes a lot of patience. So I am a scalper, so it's not unusual for me to break this down even further and wait down at the bottom of a wick or a pop. And that's a quick scalp, a quick in and out. Sometimes it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds, maybe 5 at very most. But I'm looking for those areas where I can get in and out pretty quickly. So as a scalper, I'm sitting in here at the 1 minute. So 69.20. I'm looking to see what we got over here. 69.18. Looks like it might pop back down to 69.18. But it really likes this 69.24. And I'm just reviewing it. I'm just watching it for a minute. What I'm doing is I'm feeling out the L2. Because I can get in here and this is a margin, right? And I don't have to deal with unsettled cash. I can go and just be patient. I don't have to create a setup. All I have to do is wait for the setup to come to me. So I'm in no hurry. And like some people, you might have a ton of time during the day where you can sit here and just kind of wait these out. Some of us don't have that luxury. So you got to know what to look for when you're looking for a good setup. So it keeps bouncing off. This keeps bouncing off the 69.24. So what I'm going to do, the 69.22 is popping up over here where there's a little bit more of support. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an order in here. And I may get missed, right? Like this happens all the time. You can ask anybody. Sometimes you get missed, and that's okay. You just get out of it and reset. Sometimes it'll blow right past you. and there's nothing you can do about it. You just reset for a new opportunity. Paper trading is a lot slower, so it may drop down and pick you up like it did. It did for me. And it takes a second. When you are getting in and out of trades on the real side, the real trading side, it's quick and instant. So as you could see, it did come down and pick me up. Now, on a normal scalp, given where it picked me up at, I'd get out of it. I would get out of it. This would be my quick scalp. What is that? 69.22 to 69.25. Done, out. Why would I not wait in it? I am below all the indicators, and because I'm below it, I don't typically like to stay in them because I don't have really anything that's proving to me that I should stay in it. So I get in and out. That's just what I do. I get in and out when I see an excellent opportunity to, because I can reset and I can get back in. Now, if this would have jumped above the indicator, which here, let's move this over so I can see what I'm doing. Close my indicators here. If I would have gotten in above, say, like the 9, I would have then used my indicators to help keep me in some of these. But for the sake of training and showing mechanics, I would have got in and out. And let's see. I want to do it this way. Yeah. I'm going to have it get me out, and we'll reset again. Paper trading takes a moment, so we got to be patient. We'll let that think for a second. All right. Once you do that, you need to close out of your stops, and then you are ready to reset again. And then you rinse and repeat. You do the same thing. So it still looks like it likes this 69.24. You can go over here to the L2. Looks like we got 69.22 down here. These keep moving. So I still do like this 69.24. It's not giving me any indication that it's going to change. So I could have put another order in here at that 69.24, and I would wait for the next pop. It's still below the indicators, so I'm still looking for that quick scalp. And I would just rinse and repeat this over and over again. And I'm still watching the L2. I'm watching the candles. It is really fast. While we wait for this to decide what it wants to do, it's going to pop back up down here at that 69.24, which it very well could. I'm going to put an order down here at that 69.24 again. It's over on the L2. If you're looking over at the bid side, it looks like it's going to come back down to that 69.24. It could potentially come back down there and pick me up. Now, it may miss me and hit the 69.25. That's just what could happen. When you sit in front of this for hours, you see this happen all the time. So I'm waiting to see it come down. Now it looks like it might come down to that 69.21. And I have the choice where I can move that down if I choose to, but it's moving pretty fast, and there's still really no indication that I need to move it. So I'm just going to keep it at the 69.24 and wait for it to pick me up. David asked over on YouTube, how do you determine if it will pop? Well, I utilize the L2, and that's basically how I will determine if it will pop. What will happen? Okay, so it picked me up at this 69.24. What will happen if there's a potential pop that can happen? That pop is going to be an increase in volume. But what will happen if you pay attention to how the L2 works? The bid side, which is the green side, you'll see that graph, the green graph that's here. It will actually get smaller, and the red side the graph will grow bigger. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's when you'll see that pop. And that comes with hours of sitting in front of the L2. So like I told everybody in our futures training, I encourage everybody to come in here and record the L2 with the chart and review it. Record for like 5 minutes and review the data that you see. That way you can pause it, rewind, or go back a few minutes or seconds, watch again, and then watch how the candles and that L2 work together. And you'll be able to identify some of these things. Like, see, like here's that pop 69. Where are we at? 69.30. I'm a scalper. I already got out of this. I already got out of it here at that 69.29. I'm not looking to stay in these for a long period of time. I have no interest in doing that. Now, can I? Yes. If I want to use all the indicators to prove to me that I should stay in it, I absolutely will. But I'm working on that skill set where I go in really heavy with my position size and I get out immediately. Mark, you have your hand up?
Yes, as we do have numerous questions on all of our lives.
Awesome. Well, let's go.
On YouTube, our YouTube live feed, David C. asks, are you looking at the ask side for major traffic to be in that price range?
I do use so I do use the ask side. And what was the question?
What are you using to determine major traffic's at?
Yeah, so I'm looking at both the bid and the ask side. So since futures is margin, we can get in at support and we can get in at resistance, right? So I am looking at both sides to determine which direction do I want to go. Like what is the chart giving me? So I will chart out the chart itself to get out some basic levels, identify the trend. Is it going to the upside or down? Because that's important. Because if it's going to the downside, you don't want to be buying at support unless you're going to do a quick scalp, because you're going against it, and there's a better chance of your face ripped off, which is something we don't want to do. So you got to be able to determine which way you want to be in here, which way you want to buy. Do you want to buy on resistance, or do you want to buy on support? So that will make a difference. So I do pay attention to both sides. And then I just make my analysis, and then I choose to get in from there. I hope that answers your question.
In our TikTok live feed chat, where to go? DJ Vinny 62 asked, using a 1 minute chart or a 2 minute chart?
So for scalping, I use the 1 minute, and I will look at the 2 minute for the 2 minute EWO, and I use the 5 minute, the 5 minute, the 30, the day, and I look at the week, sometimes the month to chart out my levels.
And a follow-up question from DJ Vinny 62 on TikTok Live. Can you use previous trends and support and resistance lines while you're trading in futures?
Absolutely. A lot of times, don't tell anybody, but I don't update my charts. And I just leave my lines from the previous day or two. Because a lot of times I've charted it out so well that it's not necessary for me to do it every day.
Okay. Next question. From Freddie the Freeloader on TikTok Live chat. Can you trade futures within an IRA?
Great question. Great question, Freddie. Yes, you can do futures. Just be very aware of the risk that's involved in doing so.
And that would also be your broker dependent also, if they allow you to do some of those things too, right? Yeah. And okay, in our Zoom chat, Mustang Chris asks, since futures are on 23 hours, are the stops always available?
Hi, Chris. Yes, they are always available. They are always available. Just be reminded or be cautious. So that hour before the market closes for that hour for futures, the future price for the margin that gets used for each one will go up. So over the overnight hours, that the margin cost on crude oil will actually be different than what it is if you are in it during the intraday, which is during this time frame right now. So just be mindful that that margin will change. But yes, the stops work, and make sure you use them or you'll blow up your account.
And he does have a question, another question, just regarding what you just said. What's the level range, the funds that he would need to trade, if he was going to do a swing trade, or basically what's the difference between trading during open market hours and after hours? Can you give an example, say MCL, what it would cost you to trade that during the open hours for margin requirements versus after hours margin
Sure,
requirements?
absolutely. Let me see. I think I have it on the other screen. We'll just let that run. It's fine. It's paper trading. So that's a great question. So during the intraday, if you have a small account, now, mind you, I only have 14 on my watch list. So the 14 that I have on my watch list is a watch list that was created to pull data for people who have smaller accounts, so that say 500, we'll say 5 to 600 to 1,000 range. To me, that's a super small account. So the difference between what that looks like for the day and the nighttime. Nighttime, it is really slow. And I say that loosely because I'm only up until like 9:30 at the very latest, and that's Central Time, so 10:30 Eastern. After that, I go to sleep, and I'm telling you, I miss things all the time, and I don't even look at it. But it's typically pretty slow during the evening hours. So that's 6 p.m. to, I don't know, we'll say 9, 6 to 9. It's super slow. Now, you can trade with a small account during that time, and it's all well, and I'll go back. It is also very volatile and very busy during the intraday. So a lot of these follow and have volatility like what what the U.S. markets are. So if you listened to the opening in the morning when we're all in the stock education, a lot of times when you hear us talk about like the IWM, the Qs, SPY, whenever those get mentioned, you can actually come over to the future side and you can trade futures right alongside everyone and follow. The levels are a little bit different, but if you know how to chart, you can go and chart just the same and get the same data over on the future side. So margin is different. So and that's really important to point out that the margin itself is different. The margin during the day, let's see here. Which one do I want to look at? Let's scroll up. The initial margin during the day for, I'm really sad that that's going up right now and I'm not paying attention to it. I'm going to pull this up on my other screen too. So it is much bigger for me to see. So the initial margin that you need for MCL, which is the micro for crude oil, is 171.60. So that's how much you need to be able to buy and sell a contract one for crude oil during regular intraday hours, which is 8 o'clock through the end of the day, which is 4. Yes, 4 o'clock Eastern. So that's that time span where you can get in here and you can buy a contract, and those are good for smaller accounts. Over on the futures trading page within American Dream Trading, there is a list that you have available of the futures that are available for those smaller accounts that can be traded with that smaller margin. In the evening time, when you get in here, for that same margin, for that same symbol or future, the minimum it's like $572 for just one contract. So you have to be aware of the difference. So those who have smaller accounts, it is a little bit more challenging in the evening to get it in and out of any of the futures. However, you can grow your account pretty quickly since it is a margin. You don't have that unsettled cash. So if your mechanics are really good, you can get in and out of these pretty easily. But there are some challenges with that. Just make sure you use your stops for sure. I hope I answered that. It was kind of long-winded. Yes, David. So I do trade the same time as regular hours. In fact, I do most of my trading that first hour and a half of the day. And then I will pop in the evening to see if I can catch anything that's running. And then just for practice sake. And then I will also in the early morning hours, if I'm not preparing for training for the live such as this, I will pop in anything that I can get my hands on. But I am a pretty good scalper, so I'm doing more than just watching for trends. A lot of times I'm scalping candles too, which is a skill I've been working on for a few months. I like to get in and scalp candles. It's my new favorite thing to do. DJ Vinny, that's a great question on Robinhood. I've only done futures in Weevil, so I would have to look that up for you. I'm not sure. Awesome, David. I'm glad that helps. Yes, so Gambone, we do use the EWO indicators for futures. So everything that we've learned over here within our trading community, you can apply it to the future site as well. Neil, you have your hand up.
Yeah, and so I get to know, like while doing some research, is there any tax benefit for holding future?
Any tax benefits?
Yes,
It's a great question.
because this is not a stocks, so this is index. But I was reading on the Google and it says tax benefit, but I did not see much details. So that's why I said like let me ask you guys and see if you guys are aware.
What I do know, and based on where I would find the information based on what you're asking, I would go over to cmegroup.com webpage and look. There's a section that does talk about tax and how that affects futures. But CME Group webpage is the Bible for futures. You may be able to find additional information that will dig down a little bit more deeper for you. I will add that for Q&A for future questions too. But that's where I would start. Does anybody within ADT want to add to that?
So and I was doing on Tradowet, that's another trading broker, and on their page they have listed there is some tax benefit to holding the long term, but I don't know about what exactly that means. So I was just trying to find out what exactly these tax benefits are.
Yeah, futures is a 60-40 split on the tax. So 60% of the gains are taxed as a long-term capital gains rate, and 40% gains are taxed as ordinary income.
60/40. Okay, nice. Maybe I need to connect with my accountant then. All right, thank you.
I'm just looking over here at CL Main a minute. See what we got going on. We'll go over here and look at the 5-minute. Minutes here. All right. We'll go out to the hour. I'm just looking since there was a huge pop. I'm looking to see if there's anything that I need to be looking at to chart this out a little bit so I kind of have a general idea of where it may be going. Do we have other questions, guys? I'm watching over here on TikTok too. Welcome everybody over at TikTok. It is very different being on this side of TikTok than just being the scroller. So this is new for me. Kind of exciting. Any of you over in TikTok land, did you do any trading today for futures? If you did, what did you get in? Same with you over on YouTube. Any of you in any trades today on the futures side? Were they successful? All right. I'm going to go back over to the paper side and we're going to go do some more training. We're going to see about some other opportunities. Oh, look at that. So I forgot that, and here's a rule that you should never break. Don't ever leave your trade alone. Obviously, I knew I was still in it. I forgot about it until just now, but clearly I'm in the green, but don't ever leave your trading alone. Stay in it so that it doesn't go in the wrong direction for you. So I'm going to get out of that and regroup, and we'll look at another entry opportunity. Yeah, Ben, that's a really great question. So yes, you can. And I do that. That is my most favorite. That is my absolute most favorite thing to do. I love to short futures. I love it.
How do you short? What's the difference between that and the options? Short.
Yeah, so did this get me out? Yes, it did. Okay. So I'll show you. So mechanically, guys, so this is for mechanical purposes only. If I was going to get in here and short MCL main, I'm going to click sell to buy because I want it to buy on its way down, right? So we're going to quickly get in here. It'll take a second because this is paper trading. Hopefully it caught me. That's the only downside to paper trading, guys. And I have an attention span of squirrel, so this is ridiculous for me, but it'll be fine because you have to learn. I can't tell if it picked me up or not. Well, if it didn't, it did now. I just saw it clip it. Waiting patiently. It's going to go the opposite direction because it's taken so long, which tells me it didn't pick me up. So let's regroup. Or did it finally pick me up? It did, of course. So when you want to buy when you're going to short it, you click sell, right? I instantly get ready to buy it. So you will buy it then to sell this contract. Now, it's obviously not going to go in my favor because it's so damn slow, but that's okay. We'll give it a second and see what it's going to do. Come over here to the L2 and look at what it's potentially going to be up to. And it's not looking like it's going to be really in my favor. There's support. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, maybe. It looks like it might drop. Yeah, we're going to just have to wait patiently for it to see what it does. So mechanically now I'm waiting for it to when I get ready to sell it, I'm going to click buy. So it's going to be just the opposite of what you do when you buy it from support. So now I'm just going to wait patiently. I have my finger on the trigger, and I'm going to wait to get out.
While you're waiting there, Edge got a question in our TikTok live chat feed. DJ Vinny62 asks, what's the longest time you spent in a future trade?
So I've had quite the range. One of them I was in this morning. I was in it for 2 seconds. Kid you not, 2 seconds. Another one that I've been in since probably in the last like week or two. I was in one for close to 20 minutes. That's a long time for a scalper. It was annoying. I was not pleased. It was a profit, but it was annoying. All right, so now that it's getting
gold
back
just
down
took
to where I'm
off.
going. What it? We'll look here in a second.
Yeah, gold.
Of course it did. Of course gold's
Straight
doing
up.
that.
It's been down all day. Just take it off.
So really, I got into this to show you mechanically how to get in and out. So I'll give it another second and then we'll move on. But if you're buying it to short it, you're going to click sell. And to sell it, you'll click buy. And that is the mechanics in getting in and out. Brad, this is MCL main. I'm just watching this. I'm looking to see if it's going to drop below this or not, below this 70.11. I'd like to see it go down to that 70.01. All right, so for the sake of mechanics, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this even though it's at a loss. So we can just keep moving forward. This is why I don't live trade and train at the same time. It is no fun for anybody, and I don't want to lose money. Plus, this takes forever. This takes forever. It's not even getting me out. Come on. Well, while it makes up its mind what it's doing, let's go over to gold. That's a great question, Vinny. So, what is the most percent someone could make on a trade? Well, look at it this way. Your mechanics will help you decide how much you could possibly make out of a trade if the chart itself is working in your favor, right? So you never want to sell yourself short. So it's really going to come down to whatever the market's giving you. So that's my personal approach. I always look at it that when I get into a trade, I want to make sure that I am doing enough to cover the fees that are associated with the trade that I'm in. So the commission fees, so it's transaction fees is what they're called. I want to make sure that I'm at least making sure I cover those transaction fees if I were to get into a trade going the wrong direction and it goes the wrong direction. So I'm paying attention to that. So if I can get above that, in some cases, I'll take that as a win, especially if orders get thrown in that I did not see when I placed my order. I'm just making sure I'm looking for those in and out opportunities to just try to either break even or be green. One of the two. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So that's what I'm watching for. I didn't realize it was on the 1 hour. Let's see. So these are some levels that I already had charted out once before. A line here at 75, 275, 27.55.40, and another at 27.57.60. Come over here to the L2. I got 27.55. 27.55. It's a good area. Yeah, these lines look pretty good. Blow this up a little bit so I can watch it. $27.56. It's above the 9. It's actually above all the indicators, it looks like. Yep. A lot of times before I ever get into any of these, I will sit and watch them for a few minutes just to get a good idea of, how volatile is it? Do I need to make any adjustments to my stops? What is it doing? Is it trending up or down? I'm asking myself these questions all the time if I'm flipping through different futures. I haven't actually physically traded gold, so this is interesting to watch. So because I have never traded gold before, a lot of times I will sit and watch it. Go ahead, Mark. You have a question?
I don't, but Mustang Chris in the Zoom live feed has a question. He said, wants to know if he buys a contract during the day, normal trading day, does it stay at that price in the evening or does it automatically switch to the higher margin costs?
That's a really good question. So, if you hold it, you have to have the it's called maintenance margin. You have to have that maintenance margin available in your account to trade it. So this is how I approach it. So just like we do during stocks, I know Chris is a part of the regular American Dream Trading community. This is how I look at it. At the market close at the end of the day, make sure you're out of everything. That way you don't have a chance of it happening where you don't have enough to cover that from your account. It's like don't hold anything overnight. We talk about that. I would do the same thing here. So just be mindful of that. So this is creeping up to that 27.57 again. So I would watch this again. I've never traded this one before. So I like to the nice thing about margin and on the future side is because I don't have to deal with unsettled cash. I feel less inclined to want to hurry up and get into a trade. And I don't, and I equate that to the fact that this is a margin account that I've been able to grow over here. So I'll wait for a really good setup. I'm not in any hurry. I'm just not. And at this point, trading as long as I don't have any reason to be either. So I will just wait for a good setup. So this is bouncing off the 9. And I'm on the 1-minute chart. I'll blow this up a little bit more. And I would encourage new traders to wait for those good setups. Okay, so we're coming up here at this double top. So what I would do, and I would want to switch back over to paper, but I'm not going to because it'll change the outlook or it'll change the look of the chart. I'd be looking at getting in. I'd be looking to see if it's going to break and hold this spot here, and if not, I'll be looking to get into it. And I would be looking to short it. So I would be waiting patiently to see what this is going to do. And I'd have my trigger ready, right? I'd have my fingers ready over here, ready to click it to buy it. Wait to see what it's going to do. You can look at the L2. So if you look at the L2, there is a level at 2757.60, 2757.90, and another major level at 2757. Blow this up a little bit more so you can see it a little bit more up close and personal.
Aaron, see TikTok chat, please.
All right, we're just keep reviewing. See if we need to add any more lines to this bad boy. Thanks, guys. I'm looking around here at all these little chat features. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on a lot of screens. Good grief. All right. I'm back to the chart now that I'm back to it. So we're back bouncing off the 9. Something that I've learned with coming in here with an empty cup is you sit in here long enough, you can pick up some good tricks. I am teaching myself how to trade on the candles, and I'm finding that I love to do that. Now, while that's an advanced trading skill, it's something that I do in fact enjoy doing, and when I can properly execute it, For me, it's like Christmas. So I over here, I try to do. I'm still a scalper, and I do dabble with the EWO a little bit for practice. But I am in here scalping, and I will scalp anything I see. We're just reviewing this. This is pretty slow. This actually ain't too bad. Isn't too bad at all. All right, guys, what other questions do you all have? Any and all questions are welcome. While we're waiting, we do have sale going on. And let me see here while I pull that up. I don't see if there's any other questions that I've missed. Oh, coach. Coach is in all the lounges. Look at that. All the chats. So current sale we have going on, we have $1,000 off VIP or VIP Gold Lifetime memberships. So come one, come all. I can tell you that I started out while we're waiting for some more questions. I started out creating back in January of 2024. Came in here with nothing, no experience in anything. I couldn't even tell you what a cup and handle or put or call was. I couldn't tell you any kind of strategy that existed. I didn't know anything. And so I came in here. I was looking. I actually was following Coach on. Found him on TikTok. Started watching the lives on YouTube each day. Kind of getting a feel for the community and environment to see if this was something that I really wanted to do. And then I went ahead and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to give this a monthly membership try for VIP because I heard that there were early morning hours. And at the time I was working 8 to 5. So I utilized that time to go in and kind of get to know like the people and what they were training on because I had no idea what was going on or what was going to be a thing. Oh, I learned real fast that okay, I think I could do this. This seems like it's legit. I will hop in here and learn some stuff, right? So got a year membership and I made myself a goal that I said I was going to give myself 1 year to figure out this trading thing. Yes, hey, Mel, you can trade futures on your mobile phone. So I came in here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give myself a year. I'm going to put the pedal to the floor. I'm going to take all the notes. I'm going to get up every single morning and be with pre-market and learn all the things. So I learned how to chart in the morning. So Mark, who is in here, he was the main guy in the morning who focused heavily on charting. So I learned how to chart because of Mark. Then in addition to that, we have another gentleman in there, Nate, who is amazing at being a scalper. And so I learned really fast that my two options were either to do the 2-minute EWO or be a scalper. And because I worked during the day, I couldn't trade during the day while I was working. I decided that, okay, I'm going to be a scalper. So then I started honing in on everything Nate said during those pre-market hours because pre-market's typically slower and listened to everything he said, took notes. I mean, I have notebooks galore in this office, just mass quantities of notes everywhere. And I ran with it. You know, fast forward, I realized when I took my first real trade that, okay, I got this. And I actually saw this and it makes sense. And I ran with it. Fast forward again. Go ahead, Mark.
No, here's a question. Go ahead and finish your story.
Okay. Fast forward a little bit further. I believe it was, oh gosh, time's getting away from me now. Early May. So it would have been April, around April, um, everybody in the community started noticing that my profit and loss I was posting every day. I was having green days, no red days, and it was like a train. It just kept going and going and faster and faster. And then fast forward a little bit further, I was the first uh, creator of the week back at the beginning of May. End of May, I set a goal for myself that sometime in early fall, my goal was to be able to retire out of my 9 to 5. That was a goal that I had in place. I eventually, at one point, moved it up to the end of the year because work was super busy. But then it came back into September again when I finally did leave that 9 to 5. I became a moderator here with American Dream Trading in July, end of July. Still seeing huge success, still growing my account that was really small. So I started out with a $500 account and I was able to grow that organically. And that just means that I never had to put funds into that to support it. The growth of it, I was able to recycle that money over and over and over again to keep growing that account. Um, End of September, I was able to leave my 9 to 5 and fast forward a little bit more. So not only am I a moderator here and helping coach and the rest of the moderators with other great things we have going on within the community itself. I also joined in not long after that, it might have been a week. I'm also part of the staff with American Dream Trading now too. So and then shortly after that, I jumped in with futures to train all of you. So it's been a really exciting adventure. If you would have told me back in January that I'd be doing this, I would have probably laughed at you. I come from the finance world, so that's my background as a financial analyst. So I've spent many years in that field. So I, going back to the trading side, I realized early on that I had a knack for this. And if I just put in the time and the energy that I was needed for me to do so, I was going to be really freaking good at it. And so here we are. So scalping is my forte. I like to get in here and scalp the crap out of the market. I'll scalp anything. I'll scalp a candle on the 30-second. If it gives me the opportunity to, and I see a good setup to do so. And I'll do the same thing for if I see a good trend, or a channel, I'll scalp a channel till I'm blue in the face if it gives me the opportunity to. So I don't discriminate. If I see an opportunity to come in here and make a profit, I'm making it. And nothing holds me back. So that's been my adventure and journey here with American Dream Trading so far. It's been fun. It'll be interesting to see what comes next and how this continues to unfold. So I got some big goals to achieve here in the next year. So go ahead, Mark.
All right, we have a question from our YouTube live feed chat. David C. asked, so he's referring to this trade that was going on there. When the candles are green going up, does that mean the bid side on the L2 is pushing it up, or is the ask side allowing it to go up?
That's a really great question. So how I look at this is if the red side, and I'll show you because if you're a visual person like I am, I like to visually walk you through how this works. So pay attention to this 70 or 2758, all right? 2758.9 right here. See? This is what's going to push it up on the ask side. Okay, so we want to see this break at 2758.80. So it breaks this down, this number should get smaller. And you can see this go up. And then it'll do the same thing for the 2759. It breaks this down, it will continue to go up, and so on. I hope that makes sense for you. We can go back and look at this again. Okay, back to the 2759. Over here, look at this. 2759, that's where it's sitting right now. See, it's not breaking that. You see it drop a little. Now if you come over here and you look at this candle, it's doing the same thing, it drop. So now it's moving it back up. See that? Watch how these two work together. This comes with hours of screen time. So I encourage everyone, I do this for myself. You want to really dive into how the L2 and the candles work together. Do a screen recording of it. And do like 5 minutes worth. There is enough activity over here on the futures. Do 5 minutes worth. If that's too long for you, drop it down to like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. And then record it, label it, and then go back when the market isn't open. Because you can go and do this with the live market, but like on the weekend, do that and go back and review how it works. It's actually really cool to watch. And you'll actually learn real fast what to watch for between the L2 and the candles. Yes, Mark.
All right, we got some more questions. By the way, in the chats, they said NQ is going up, ES is blasting off. So we must have an upward trend in the market right now. Anyway, on our YouTube live feed in the chat, never again volunteer yourself asks, what are the best time to trade futures?
That's a really good question. So, in my experience, mind you, I pay attention to news. The news catalyst is important. So you got to know when like there's any like if you're going to do oil, like anything with oil. This week is earnings week for a lot of the stocks that we watch on the stock side. So with this week, NQs are going to be ones to watch. They're really volatile this week, really busy. Same with the Dow. IWM pays attention to, I believe, if I can get this right, when there are interest rate cuts, I believe. So if you want to know how futures is affected, ideally, come in here at US Market Open at 9:30 and watch it because it is just as volatile as it is if you're in stocks. To me, and this is just my personal preference, that general time span, that 2 hours in the morning, is the best time to come in here and trade futures. That's been in my experience. Later in the evening, usually after 9 o'clock, you'll see an uptick on the future side. I've also seen, looking back at prior data, after midnight, so that midnight to 2 a.m., 3 a.m. range, there's another spike typically that I've found for like crude oil, sometime around 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and then it'll start to pick up thereafter. So it's really all dependent on what you're looking to do. So if you're a scalper and you're looking for that quick movement, you're going to want to come in here when it's a little bit more volatile. For those who do more long-term stuff, you'll have to just kind of gauge for yourself what you're looking for that. Yes, Mark.
All right, we got some more questions on the Zoom live feed that we have. Chicken Nugget asks, does coach's 2-minute EWO strategy work for futures? And if so, would it work on all blah, blah, blah. Let me say that again. Does coach's 2-minute EWO strategy work for the futures? And if so, would it work on all hours of the day?
Yes, Chicken Nugget. You can use the 2-minute EWO for all hours of the day, although I wouldn't use it on the 1 minute or anything below the 2-minute. But you can look at it for long term as well for during the day. You can do that. Let's see, what else was it? What did you ask? Okay, I did answer your question.
Okay,
You can use it, yes.
on our TikTok live feed, Lucy TA, welcome Lucy. How much money do I need to start a futures account?
Great question. So futures, to open up an account on Webull, the minimum is $500 for that margin account. Be mindful though that it is a margin account. So if you trade with that $500, you need to make sure that at the end of the day, before market close, that you still have that $500 in there. So don't let it drop below that or you'll get a margin call. So be mindful of that.
And in reality, while you're learning, coach's motto is trade more, trade less. You should never learn with your real money, correct? You should always paper trade while you're learning. Plan on spending 3, 6 months, a year, whatever it takes you to really get good at the mechanics and the understanding of it before you even think about putting your money at risk. Because we want to see you, number one, preserve your capital before you even think about trying to grow it. So that's very important. So paper trade first. Don't need any money to learn how to trade futures.
Yeah, and then to add to that too, if you think you're ready to move to real money and you're questioning yourself whether or not you should, that's an indication that you're not ready yet. So if you are even the smallest bit questioning whether or not you should switch over to real money, keep paper trading until you are confident that you're ready. You're welcome, guys. All right, while we wait for more questions, I will take a look some more here and see what we got. I'm going to move over to paper, and we're going to go down to the NQs, and let's take a look at what we got. Gonna look at the 5-minute. All right. So NQ is bouncing off of the 55. Let me change this. So do y'all notice over here where it says what my buying power is, and it says I don't have enough buying power to buy the NQ main? That's okay, right? Like we have to grow our accounts. That's no big deal. So you can actually take this down to the micro mini, E-mini. And depending on what you have in your account for buying power or for futures buying power, you can make that adjustment and you can make it fit your budget a little bit more. So now you see that I have availability for to be able to trade the MNQ. So I don't typically pay attention to that because I typically know where I'm at and I know what I'm trading. So that's just something for some of you new people to watch. So MNQ is coming up here and is bouncing off of the 55. So we're gonna watch this a second. That's a great question, Vinny. So you can actually do a couple things. So Webull does not currently support all of the future tickers that are out there. Okay. So you can actually go over to Futures Education on our Discord, and under it is Futures Education. And let me look at it real quick here, make sure I give you the right one. So Futures Education, it's under Education and Training. So Futures Education, about midway down, you will find the list of the current futures that are supported by Webull. So you can find a good list there. Also, and yes, and the ticker symbols will also be there too. You can do that as well. Or you can also go on under the futures tab in your futures account. And this will also house all of the different futures that Webull has to show that they're available through Webull as well. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either look at the site, you can look in our education center, or you can look over here in the futures widget. You bet. Yeah, and so I have 14. I have 14 on my current watch list. For those of you who are curious why these are the 14 that I've chosen, exactly when I created this list, these were the 14 most active futures that are out there that are within or that can be done or purchased within a smaller account. So for somebody who's got, say, an account that's between 500 and 1,000 during intraday hours, these are going to be the ones that you're going to want to trade to build your account. Now, in the evening time, crude oil on this list is the only one that comes close, and that contract sits at 572 in the overnight hours. So it's a little bit more challenging to trade in the evening, but it is available for those small accounts. Yes, Mark.
A question in our TikTok live feed chat from Even ENZ. Do you recommend doing those pro funds for low accounts? I think he's referring to where an independent person gives you money to trade on their account once you get approved to do so.
Like a prop firm.
That's the word I was trying to think of. Yes, I believe
Yeah.
that's what he's referring to.
That's actually a good question. So, Aaron, can you do like a brief, like a real brief overview of how to describe what a prop firm is? Can you do that or not? I don't have any interest in prop firms, but you might be able to chime in with a little bit more info, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, all prop firms are going to have different requirements of being able to trade underneath them, but essentially you'll get funds that you could trade with that aren't yours, and then you get a percentage back. And depending on what prop firm, and each one has kind of different rules and stuff, but basically you get a lot of, not a lot of money. You get money to trade with that's not yours, and then you get a percentage back of the successful trades that you take. They have rules and regulations that you have to fall within, and like I said, yeah, you'd have to do your own research and see if that's something for you. But I don't look into that. I don't have any interest in that. So
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, so Coach in the TikTok also added to that too, that prop firms require you to pass their simulated tests as well. And then they also have different rules.
Yeah, my mic got cut off, or my headset got cut off. Also, it's not a free thing. You have to pay a monthly fee for that privilege of using their money. So that's how prop firms make their money. They're gambling basically on one end that you won't end up qualifying. And in the meantime, they get to keep your monthly membership fee, which can be multiple hundreds of dollars a month. I've seen, briefly it was like 125, 150 a month and on up for their fees, depending on what size account you sign up for. And you have to take their tests and pass their tests to make X amount of percentage, blah, blah, blah. So there are risks involved on your end.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I'll just stick to growing my account. So YouTube, someone has asked me to walk through a paper trade with the L2. So I will go ahead and do that. Let me go through and look to see if I can find uh, a future that's slowed down enough where I can show it to you without it confusing the crap out of you. I know during training this morning, we did crude oil, so we'll do that again. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do when I come in here before I ever trade, I'm going to chart this. So let me get rid of the lines that I have. While they're not currently relevant, it'll clean up the chart for you. I'm also on the 5 minute already. So I I'm going to look at the day chart a second because I want to see if there's any significant levels that I need to pay attention to given the location of where the current candle is. So I want to make some identifiers here to see if there's anything that I need to have a watchful eye on. I can either do the wicks or the candles. That's a personal choice. A lot of times for me, I will do both, but I want to look to see what's out here before I throw any lines on here so that I don't confuse anyone. I will overchart, and me overcharting for me helps me determine how long I potentially will stay in a scalp if I'm going to look at maybe holding it a little bit longer than a few seconds. It really just depends. And I trade whatever the market gives me. I pay attention to if there's any news that's currently out for the day. I will pay attention to if there's any news that's going to be coming out here in the next, say hour, half hour. I want to be mindful for that. If I'm trading this during open hours in the morning, so when intraday starts, so at 9:30, I'm typically going to pay attention to what's going to happen within that first 15 minutes or so of the day. I'm curious to see how this goes. I'm not in here I'm not getting in this just to make a trade. I really want to make a calculated decision before I do so. So I've gotten to kind of glance through here, these different intervals to see what our good options are. So I'm going to go out and look at the month quick, see if there's anything critical I need to pay attention to. I can see right here that I need to throw a line at the 65.65. And I'm going to call this support based off of here for right now, even though I'm going to make that adjustment. I'm not going to worry about throwing a line up here because it's not in that general area, but the candle's not. But I see that on the month that it is coming off of VWAP. Actually, that's not VWAP. That is the 21. So let's go back to the week and see if there's anything significant I want to pay attention to given the time frame that I'm in. Go down to the day and see where we're at for the day. Now, mind you, I do this a lot faster when I'm not walking through it. So this takes seconds to do, typically, not a couple minutes. If it takes you this long to do this, you just keep practicing. You'll get quicker at it, I promise. All right. I'm looking at the 5-minute. We're above the 9. Okay. So, and there was a pop that happened a little while ago, so we're still above. So we're gonna pull this up this way here. Okay. So we're above the 9, so we're above the 70.45. That's on the 5-minute. Go down to the 2-minute. I'm breaking this down for looking for a good trading opportunity, right? So same here. This is bouncing off this 70.51. Okay. So I'm looking at this here. And now I'm going to go back down to the 1-minute because this is where I'm going to start trading. I'm going to look for a good opportunity to trade. So what am I looking for? If I'm going to use the L2, I'm looking to do one of two things. I can either sit and wait for the candle or a wick to come pick me up, or I'm looking to get in on a pop and either ride it to the upside or the downside, whichever it's going to give me. Okay. So if I'm going to go wait in the weeds or wait down at support, I'm going to be looking down here at this 70.46. Why? Because this is a major level. This is a major level right here, or a wall that's presenting itself. So let's put one in here and we'll walk through the rest of this. And actually, I don't want to do last price. I want to do manual. And let's see. Sometimes it'll change it, but it's not. So that's okay. So 70.50. Make sure you have your stop. All right, so now we have an order down here waiting in the weeds. So while it's waiting in the weeds, I'll explain this a little bit. So the idea behind waiting in the weeds is you're waiting for the candles to come down and pick you up. Okay. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It is a choice that you make whether or not you stay in it. But never leave something waiting in the weeds. Never leave it, because it'll surprise you and come down and pick you up, and it's usually going the wrong direction. So be mindful of that. So don't leave a trade unattended. When it does this, what it's doing currently, where it completely has missed me, I can do one of two things. I can look to see if there's an opportunity that it still may come down and pick me up, or I'll reset it. And given what it's currently doing, I'm going to most likely reset this. I'm going to reset it up to 70.55 for right now. I'm going to go ahead and just leave my stop there. It's no big deal. We're going to see if it's going to come down and pick us up. And if you're looking over here at the L2, like 70.55, 70.61 looks like another opportunity to get picked up. You can move it up here if you choose. Or you can sit here and wait. I'll wait here for another couple seconds. If it continues, I'll move it up to show you. So you can do the same strategy, obviously, in the pre-market, which is where I've spent many moons doing this. And the morning market, the pre-market is relatively slow. So the L2 is a lot slower too. So it's coming down a little bit. I'm going to keep it at 70.55. And so something that I've noticed with futures that is slightly different than pre-market on the stocks side is you can actually wait down at support, right on support, and it'll pick you up. Whereas it doesn't always happen when you sit in the pre-market. So typically you want to be picked up before everybody else, so you'd sit one above. I find that if I sit right at it, I still get picked up, and there's still that little bit of a drop that happens. But I'm able to score another penny. So the more profit I can squeeze out of it, better. So I'm just waiting patiently to see what this is going to do. 70.55 looks like it's being bypassed. So let's move this up for the sake of trading. I'm going to move this up to 70.63 or 60. Let's do 62. It's right on the 9. I'm going to move my stop up to around $15. That's about 15 ticks, 10 ticks, something like that. In that range. Given the volatility of this, it'll be okay. So major wall at 70.60. And it's passing me again. Imagine that. What I'll do after I show you this, we'll jump in on a candle just for the sake of excitement. I'm just watching at 70.66. Let's see if it comes down. Let's move this up again to 70.66. I just want it to pick me up at this point. $70.66 still looks like it should be a good spot. So I'm essentially waiting for a wick to come down and pick me up. Waiting patiently. And it is not liking me right now. All right, so typically, this can happen. So just be aware. It doesn't always work exactly how we think it should. I'm going to X out of this. And I'm going to go to a market order because I want to get picked up instantly. And now we're going to watch it. We're going to move this in a little bit closer. We're coming in up here at a double top. I'm going to draw a line down here for reference for everybody. And I'm looking somewhere in this 7069 to 7061 area for a potential pop. Let's see what it does. 7068. I'm watching the bid side, 7068. Now, a lot of times I'll wait until a candle closes before I make a decision, but you can see that that pop happened at the 7073. It's wanting to break through that. We want to see it break through that wall at 7074. It's breaking through it slowly, maybe not. We're watching it closely. I'd like to see it get to that 7078. So I'm in here at 7073. I have my stop loss in place. It's pretty far down. I'm going to move this up to 21. Now, you got to give yourself enough breathe back here. Because a lot of times these will pop back and then they'll go back to the upside. So now we just wait and see. So you got to make sure you have your stops back far enough so you don't get picked, so it doesn't stomp you out. And it still might. I don't ever move my stops back. I'll move them up, but never back. So it's staying above the 9. And I didn't notice that we blew through power hour already. Time flies when you're having fun. Yes, it could very well have been a short. You were right. I use Weeble, Evan. Yep, it's gonna stomp me out. So anyone in any of the live chats, can you tell me what I did wrong here? Anyone? I know what I did. Anyone? Anybody in the Zoom? Wanna open your mic and share what I did wrong?
Trying to buy calls on resistance.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you are a good trader, you would not do that, right? And you would write that in your journal. And if I was you, I'd make yourself a diagram. I'd circle that sucker, and I would make sure that you never did that again. Also, also be mindful too, if you're switching back and forth from stocks and futures, if you pay very close attention to whether you are wanting to actually buy it, if you would buy if you were getting in at support, but then clicking sell if you're trying to buy it on resistance. So be careful because that will also get you. So M&M, I actually did that on purpose so that y'all could see what would happen if you didn't get in it in the right way. So again, you could work that with the L2 also, right? And you can see how that works regardless. But if you don't get in it properly, it's not going to matter. And if your mechanics aren't good enough to know that you did that, you are going to get frustrated and flustered, and you're going to take more of a loss if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So in that case, you'd write it in your journal. You get off your box, after complaining about being mad at yourself. Oh, why did I do that? And then you would just reset and get back in. Okay. There's a lot of people in here. Holy cow. All of you out in TikTok land, if you would please share and follow, that would be awesome. Same with you over on the YouTubes. Share, follow. We appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming in here today. It's been great to be with all of you. We do enjoy having all of you in here. Futures has been fun to grow with the community. Yes, I would have given support down here. Wait a second. I would have put support down here at 70.58. Yes, so to be clear, I entered that on purpose incorrectly to use it as a teaching opportunity for all of you. Yes, I have actually done that in real life. If anybody's curious, I have done that in real life by accident, switching between stocks and futures. That's why now I just do futures to eliminate those faulty errors. I do like a good channel. Look at all these people. Good, great. You're welcome, John. And you're welcome, Eminem. All right, we'll go back to this here. See what else what can I teach you next? Let's see. All right. I'm going to throw a line here at maybe 70.58. I'm going to leave the one at 70.76 alone. We have a really, really heavy wall, or we did. We'll give this a minute to settle down. 70.54. Let's see. I'm going to throw a line down here as well at 70.52. And I'm going to come back over here to the L2 a minute. 70, it looks like 70.54. We got a nice little channel going on here. But I'm going to hold on to this for a minute because I don't want to get in anything ridiculous. I want to make sure that I'm setting this up good. So yeah, so 70.54, 70.52, 70.47. These are all, this is all looking kind of heavy over here. All right. Look at that. I'm going to leave this line alone. I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to change the color of it. I'm looking for it to bounce, which it's done. Still the 9 and the 21. I'm looking for a pop 7064 here. Look away for a second, and then it pops, of course. Yes. All right. Let's look back here. So 7058. There's some support down here at 7053. So if you really wanted to come down in here and wait to see what it's going to do, you could sit down here at the 7053, or you could sit just above at 7054. If you're looking at a potential to get picked up a little bit sooner, you could sit up here at, let's see, 7058. For a quick scalp. This is moving so slow. Oh my God.
Ange, look at MES real quick.
You got it. Did you say MES?
That's right, or ES.
Okay. So MES is coming up on a double top here. And this previously charted. That is pretty. One of Coach's favorites.
And its SPX is about to hit the 200 on a 2-minute. So good setup right here.
Yeah, and actually this is a triple top too. It's not even a double. I didn't zoom out far enough. I always miss the good trades when I'm training. Coach. I have a newfound respect for you, man. Sitting in here while we're all trading, making money. I'm dying over here a little. RC Scratch Build. R asks over on YouTube, are most of your scalp trades waiting in the weeds, or do you buy at the market most of the time? I do a combination of both. If it's just me sitting here in silence trading, I'll look for a good setup. A lot of times for me, those are candles or significant movements. Like RTY's had some pretty good action in the open market. So has the NQs have as well. So a lot of it will depend on what I'm after. Typically, because futures for me, I may have 14 on my list, but I typically only watch 5 or so. Usually one of those 5 will give me something good. And a lot of times, if I see a good run in one, I stick with it the rest of the day. I don't typically jump around. I do that for my own training purposes. It keeps me from making careless mistakes. But I will wait in the weeds if it's I'll use the evening hours as an example. If I'm watching crude oil in the evening, I will wait in the weeds or wait at support and see perhaps something pick me up. I'll use last night as an example. I was in crude oil and I was literally scalping candle movements. I would wait at support, get out at resistance over and over and over again. So it really just kind of depends on the setup that I'm given. But I can do both. And I'll even go as far as scalping this 30-second candle, which I was doing last night because it was moving so damn slow. Great question. Thank you, Chicken Nugget. Yes, Don, it is very hard to train and trade. Very, very hard. And so if I was paying attention to this, right, not training, I would have bought on resistance and I'd have rode this bizzo down. Ugh, look at that. Ugh, makes me sick. That makes me so sick. Oh, so I really hope that all of you that are out there are actually training or actually trading who are experienced, whether it's paper or not, that you're experimenting with these and knowing your candles, knowing how these work, because it will benefit you. It will benefit you all. My God, today is flying. It's crazy. Happy end of the month. I know we're going to be winding down here pretty soon. Um, so while we start to wind down and we watch MES go clear to hell, um, I'll take just a couple of minutes. If you're not a part of American Dream Trading, I encourage all of you to come in. So we have a free Discord to start. When you're ready to move up from there, you can move into our memberships that we have. You can go to americandreamtrading.com for those membership options. We currently do have a sale going on for our VIP or VIP Gold. It's for our lifetime memberships. They're $1,000 off. Also, like within our community, and I'll get some better information set up here so I can run through all of that with you guys a couple times during the day. It is a great community. You can learn some really awesome strategies within, but in addition to that, you're going to be a part of a really great family of people. It is a beautiful place to be a part of, very tight knit group, and I know I'm very grateful for all of them. So come on over to American Dream Trading. You get the entertainment from Coach in the morning, who has way more energy than I do. And then on this side of things, I'm a little bit more technical than entertaining. But we'll see if I can grow outside of that and be a little bit more on that entertaining side. Also, too, I want to take an opportunity to thank all of the moderators who come in here and put countless hours into helping Coach and myself and Bruno get this kicked off, through all the technical issues we've had, along with just getting everything all set up and training and developing the 2 hours before we go live, and then the entire social media community that comes in here every single day. You guys are all awesome. So if you're not a part of American Dream Trading, come on over. We welcome all of you with open arms. It does not matter what your skill level is. So please come over and join us. Look at this go clear to hell. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Hang on here. TikTok is telling me I need to move my mouse or something. So I'm going to do that quick. And apparently I can't chew gum and do this at the same time. So bear with me. There we go. Also want to thank Coach too for allowing me, what a privilege it is to be able to sit in this seat every single day. Like I said before, I have a profound respect for the time and energy you put into this. Anybody who ever has a question about how much time and energy and what we offer and what that looks like, and has anything that is a negative about how much time is spent in here, sit in this seat right here for a couple days to a week, and you will have a newfound respect for all the work and time and energy that it takes to sit in this seat every single day. So thank you, Coach, for doing that. This has been a really great experience. Also, the other moderators that come in here who took time out of their trading day and training that they get to help. You guys are amazing. Aaron, also for helping pour the knowledge that you have into me so we can continue to share and grow the futures community. So thank you for that as well. And then obviously, everyone else, I'm so glad you're here. And I'm spent, if you can't tell. But I always like to give out homework at the end of the day. So I encourage all of you to continue to paper trade, continue to train. Perhaps you should go and record the L2 in the charts and review it, and some nuggets in there. For those of you who are a part of our community already, who are also on the VIP, go over and check out that L2 training that Nate did on 8.2. It's amazing. It's basically, if you watch that a million times over like I have, you will catch on to little nuances that you'll find that you may have not already found. And so you can never train enough around here. You can never hear the same thing over and over again. It never gets old. So I encourage all of you to do your homework. All of you, I'd also like to see you go into the Futures Lounge and share your feedback. Also share topic ideas you'd like to cover so that I can be prepared for all of you to have some content ready. And that goes for all of you out in all the social media land as well. I appreciate all of you too. And yeah, we'll just continue to watch these last couple minutes. And then last but certainly not least, we have the aftermarket show, which is hosted by Dawn at 5 o'clock. Please go over there and support her. I have a very special place. Dawn holds a very special place in my heart. She is still my accountability buddy, although I'm a little MIA these days. And I check in with her to make sure she's doing all the right things. And I pop in and show her the utmost gratitude too for allowing me to come on to the aftermarket from time to time to share my experiences and my knowledge that I have too with the group. And so please go over and support her. I'm not sure what the topic is tonight, but it's always great. Palm Coast goes over there and helps her out with a lot of mindset stuff, which is huge. So being a trader, it's not just about being a good trader, it's about working on yourself as well. So take the time out of your day to give a minute for you, whether it's reading, writing in your journal, maybe it's setting goals. We start the new month tomorrow. So go into November with some goals in mind. I already have mine preset. Now that I've got some of this social media jazz figured out and futures lingo figured out, I'm getting back into doing the amount of trading that I was doing before, and before I kind of pump the brakes a little bit to prepare everybody with futures. So I'm back in I call it my own hot seat, where I am I'm pushing the limits of my own trading skills and to share with everybody in the community too. So Mama's back, and I'm super excited to be back in that seat of trading and honing in on my own skill set and continuing to learn. So do your homework, guys, and yeah, we will do this. This makes me want to get off this call and grade more. But again, I appreciate everybody out there today. Y'all are great. It's been a great community. Everyone popping in with the questions. I love it. You guys are wonderful. You guys are all wonderful. Done is okay, but vegan is my favorite. Yep, you guys are wonderful. Sitting under this hot light, I'm ready to shut it down. I'm ready to shut it down. But anyway, you guys, again, want to thank all of you for joining us today. Come back tomorrow, same time, same channel. and we will kick it off with some more training and information. In the meantime, all of you have a great night, and stay tuned for the last bit.
Ended that before the promo ended
Oh, did it?
on, well, on TikTok. It didn't even, I didn't